This duel is over, Kaiba. You may have rare and powerful cards, but there is one thing you don't have. The power of friendship. Which is why I will be summoning to the field my truest companion in the whole world. My bestest friend through thick and thin. Go, Gogiga Gaga Gigo, and attack Kaiba's life points directly! Not Gogiga Gaga Gigo! Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a TV show about friendship, cheating at card games, and threatening to jump off of a building if you're going to lose to your opponent. But I think the thing that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is probably the most famous for has got to be the cursed cards, from an Ahegao tomato to an evil Swedish chef from the Muppets. And today, I'm going to be showing you guys all of my favorites. So let's get into the most cursed cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life gone living.
The first thing I want to bring to you guys is a little card called Du Bois. It's literally just zombies, but they're from like an early 2000s boy band. Wait, what does it do? You can special any number of Du Bois from your deck. Then you take 1,000 damage. The fuck, this is the worst card. The next card I want to present to you, somebody must have clearly been like watching way too much Human Centipede, because they decided to make Gimmick Puppet Shadow Feeler. I mean, do you even need more of a description than that? Human Centipede puppets. This is terrible. Also, why does it have to have the word feeler in it? That just makes it way worse. I've already mentioned this one in the intro, but we have the Ahegao tomato himself, Mystic Tomato, which I realize that he's not actually doing Ahegao, but you know, I'm sure this is somebody's fetish. I don't know what it is with Japan and their obsession with just weird tomato creatures. We have this one. And then we also have one that's like in prison because I guess this tomato is a murderer. And next up we have Ojama Yellow. Yeah, everything about Ojamas in general, they're definitely cursed as fuck. Why did they need to be in bikinis also? Get this away from me. This card we have up next is a card that as a kid I thought sounded super cool. I was like, oh my god, it's the the Lord of D. Oh my god, he's wearing a dragon cosplay. This is the coolest thing that's ever happened. But as an adult, the Lord of D has a completely different context. I summon the Lord of D in attack mode, and he's coming for you, boy. Somebody call HR, please. I don't feel comfortable. There's a lot of weird animal cards in this game, but I think probably the one that I find the most disturbing is the card Ghost Beef. It's a cow, and he's a ghost, right? He's a ghost cow. But what's really disturbing about this, not only is he cutting himself open, but he's also eating himself. He's very happy about it too. He's like, oh man, this is gonna be so tasty, my own beef. Yeah, this is very concerning, but not quite as concerning as the World Carrot Weight Champion, which is definitely a creature from my nightmares. He's got big carrot arms, and he's got a big carrot nose, but unlike a snowman who's got like a cute carrot nose, he is terrifying. Now, this next guy should not have had to have been on this list. His art design is really cool, and he has amazing flavor text. His soul, long since collapsed, his body recklessly continues onward, driven by a lust for more power. He no longer resembles his former self. But for whatever reason, his name is so terrible. His name is, why would they give him this name? His name is Gogiga Gaga Gigo. Gogiga Gaga Gigo. It's like something a person would say when they're pretending to be a baby. I was curious if he appeared in the anime, and he actually does. And they make fun of him in the anime.
Gaga Gigo! Giga Gaga Gigo! And go Giga Gaga Gigo 3 times!
Yes! I rule it, tongue twisters! Watch this! Gaga Gigo! Giga Gaga Gigo! Gaga!
Oh, poor Gogiga Gaga Gigo. He deserved more than this. Speaking of animals, this one's actually not cursed at all, unless you're like a toxic man who is afraid of anything adorable. And that's Fluffle Dolphin. Of all the Fluffles, the dolphin one is by far the cutest. It's a little pink dolphin with angel wings for a tail. There's just something really enjoyable about going up against some tough guy opponent who's like, oh, I only play the coolest cards. I got the true king of all calamities. He's gonna destroy you. And you're like, yeah, here's the dolphin. Next up is 2 cards in one, and this is what I was talking about earlier about evil Swedish chef from the Muppets. We got Hamburger Recipe, which is just a horrifying pig man making a living burger. This is literally just the Muppets. When I was a kid playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I actually had these cards in my deck because there was just something so cool about an evil burger, and I really love burgers. I think burgers are delicious, and I love the Muppets. So it's just all the things I love in one. I'm pretty sure I never was able to use the Hungry Burger once, even if I had summoned him, is so terrible. So the next card is actually something that kind of goes all together. Now, overall, they're not really that cursed. It's just little dust monsters. They're called the Dustins. They're actually pretty useful because they all have special abilities that are designed to inconvenience your opponent, except for the white one. The white one has no abilities, but it does have the flavor text of the proudest of them all. I just think that's hilarious. Speaking of things that are useless, next up we have rare fish, which is, it's a fish and it's a lion. Why is it not called lionfish? Why? It's the perfect opportunity. Why'd they call it rare fish? This fish is so rare that it's not real. It's summoned with Fusionist and Enchanting Mermaid. What is Fusionist? Wait, you also have to summon this? Wait. So in order to get rare fish, you first have to fuse 2 other really shitty cards and then fuse Fusionist and Enchanting Mermaid to get this terrible card. Look at it. Its attack and defense are so horrible. Why would you do this? Speaking of things that are terrible, is just whoever decided to offend this poor Tengu demon monster, the Great Long Nose. Come on, man. He's just a demon monster. He's just trying to live out his demon life. You know, why do you gotta offend him by saying he has a ginormous nose? Moving on. Japan has this obsession with turning anything possible into like a cute, adorable waifu, and obviously Yu-Gi-Oh has to jump in on that trend as well, because we have Laundry Dragon Maid. Now, of all of them, I have to say this one's probably the most adorable. I don't know if this is necessarily cursed. I guess it depends on your opinion. Oh, somebody's made hentai. Of course they have. And speaking of cute and adorable, when people say like pandas can be aggressive, this is what you imagine. There's so many cards where it's just cute and weird and adorable, and they're like trying to make a card based off of an actual cute and adorable creature. Make him a horrible monster. Next up we have Appliancer Laundry Dragon. It's literally just, it's a washing machine. Why does everything need to be a thing? Can you imagine you're playing against your opponent and he's just like, yo, I summoned my laundry machine. There's also a dryer and a vacuum and a few others as well. It does look kind of cute, I'll admit. Next up is way more cursed, is Bawa Baboon. It's a tree. It's a tree with just a baboon's head that's been stapled to it. It's horrible. So most likely somebody saw this and was like, oh, I see, the name is a tree baboon. Obviously, instead of making a tree monkey, what if it was a tree but there's a fucking baboon head? Some of these Yu-Gi-Oh artists have way too much free reign. This next one, the artists definitely just, they did not have any imagination whatsoever. They just saw the name and they were like, yeah, I'm just doing that. And which is Heavy Freight Train Dairy Crane. It's just a train. There's other trains in this game that have like faces, like they're from the Cars franchise. This one's not even alive. It's just a train with a crane. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, you. Anyway, enough of these trains. I don't know how this one just existed. Period. It's called Cupid Dunk, and it's literally Cupid, the guy who shoots people with arrows to make them, fall in love. He's playing basketball. Why? The next card up I have is Sunseed Twin. This card just makes me uncomfortable. It's like weird tentacles, and it's got twins, and they're both naked, and they're both like, it's just, I don't like this. So we're just gonna move on right now. Let's continue. Now, what's cursed about this card? This is specifically because of the anime when they brought it to the West, when they brought it to America. They decided to pretend like everything was happening in America. This is something that was really common back in the day. If you've ever watched Godzilla, it'll be like at the American Naval Base. Oh yes, America, my favorite island. You have clearly Japanese characters who live in Japan, and they say things like, field the strength of this sword-swinging samurai from the Far East. Ah yes, the Far East, the place that you are from. I'm okay with the idea that Japan exists. You don't need to pretend like it's some mystical, magical land from the Far East, okay? What the fuck? Now, this next card is definitely cursed. Jaws Man. I imagine whoever originally was making this card was thinking like a human shark, like he's a man with a shark head, like King Shark from the DC. And then whoever was given this to draw, they're like, oh, I got a better idea. He's just Jaws, that's it. His arms are mouths, his biceps are mouths, his feet, mouths. All of it, everything is a mouth. How does this guy eat? Where does his food digest? Which one is the butt? Is his butt still behind him? Does he still poop out his normal butt, or does one of the jaws eject the poop? I don't know. It's horrible to think about. When Australians tell you to worry about drop bears, the terrible, terrifying creature that everybody knows is very real, this is the thing they're talking about. Wait, how the fuck do you say this guy's name? They spelled koala wrong both times. Why did they do that? Were they just unsure how to spell koala? So they're like, one of these has got to be correct. Now, as a man of Maine, this next card is the card of my people. Mad Lobster. This is when the lobstermen, they go out on their boats. This is the lobster they seek. This is their Moby Dick, the Mad Lobster. This next card is called People Running About. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's just people and they're running about. That's it. This card actually goes with a few other cards. There's oppressed people, and there was another one that I don't remember, uprising people or whatever. And they all go together to form one group of people. Now, there's a few acorn and popcorn creatures in Yu-Gi-Oh! For some reason. I don't know why there was just this stint of popcorn creatures, but the most absurd, in my opinion, is Popcorn. He's a corn on the cob, he's got a sword, he's got an amazing mustache, and that's pretty much it. I did mention earlier that there's some trains and there's some cars with faces. They're basically from the Cars universe, and Truckroid is one of those cards. Of all the Roids, he's my favorite because he just looks so goofy. Also, he really reminds me of the battling cars that you could play as in Enter the Matrix. We're gonna be ending off this video on a terrifying note. I was gonna say high note, but there's absolutely nothing high about this unless you're high tripping on acid. This is Water Spirit. Now, usually when you think of Water Spirit, you think of like a cute little ball of water, but no, this is horrifying. Can you imagine like if Moana went out to the water and the Water Spirit was this terrifying skull monster? There's absolutely no way she would have ever gone near the water ever again. That would have been the end of that movie, because the Water Spirit, even though he was probably trying to do good, just looked absolutely terrifying. If you have a favorite curse card, I'd love to hear about it. So let me know in the comments. And if you want more horrible card stuff, I just did a video talking about all the terrible controversies from Hasbro's Magic the Gathering. Go check out that video. I'll see you guys over there. Goodbye.